This conference will now be recorded.
So global and local variables. So when you're coming to this concept, how you're following the local terminology, regional terminology, and global terminology, or a global language and regional language, how you are feeling the same passion. When you are with your colleagues or your relatives, you speak in regional language. When you are with the official place, you are speaking in foreign language, or you can say common language. Am I right? Global language you are using. The same passion, when a variable which you are defining within the function, we call it as a local variable. When you are using a variable or defining a variable outside a function, but you can able to use it for a function, we call it as a global variable. That's the only one thing. Simple, over, task is completed. So global variables are variables that are defined outside of the function and accessible by all the functions, like a simple like your English. So wherever you can go, you can able to speak in English either in India or in abroad. It's a common for everyone. So that is called global variables. So when I coming to Python programming, I define x equal to 10. So x is the variable which I defined it before starting my function or somewhere in my program. But that x variable I can able to refer either for my function 1 or function 2 or function 3. If I have 3 different functions, I can able to use that variable and I can able to fulfill my function. That is called global variable. What do you mean by local variable? In the sense, local variables are defined within the function. It can be accessible within the function only, but you cannot able to access outside of the function. If I create a x equal to 10, x is the variable which I created within the function itself. I hope you know how to create a function by using a def and
Yeah.
function name. So after defining the function, if you create a variable called x equal to 10, then the x is variable is nothing but local variable. Outside of the function, if you want to be refer print text, system will not recognize the text and it is going to show an error. Hope you're clear what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So right now let's try to understand. Still we are in modular programming, not in object oriented, so that one you need to be understand. So x equal to 10 is the variable which I created outside of the function. That means this x will act as a global variable. In the sense, I can use this x variable in any one of my function or in all the functions. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So def function name display. Now y equal to 20. That now y is the variable which I created within the function. So y will act as a local variable, not as a global variable. So print x and print y. That means print x is created outside of the function, so it can be accessed by any function. So it will be displayed. Similarly, print y, I'm going to be already defined within the function, so it will be displayed as y. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So this function is created, but I need to call it. If I want to call, I can use display open and close bracket. When I use display open and close bracket, so this function will be executed and it will display 10 and 20. X is 10 and y equal to 20. But there is another issue. Now, you can see my second function, def show. There is another function which I created. Print x is a global variable. It is defined. It can be referred to your show function also. But when I come to print y is a local variable which is defined in a display function, cannot be referred to your show. So it is going to be showing error. So you can see name y is not defined in my left hand side. Error you can see
Yeah.
the last line. So it is a local function. So you can able to access the local variables only within the function only, but you cannot refer to other functions. So you need to be more cautious when you're defining the variables, local or global. Now, when you say show, system is showing an error. But when you say display, system is giving 10 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you got the difference between these two.
Yeah.
Now, there is a question, there might be a chance, cautiously or incautiously, you may define the x as a global and local. So you mentioned x equal to 10 in the current example, what you're saying. In place of y, you just mentioned x equal to 20. Now, how the system has to take as a global or local?
Global only.
Why? But generally, local has to take a more priority. When you are in a Telugu region, which priority will give?
But we are not, in generally local variable, it will work within the function, not outside of the function. So
But
when we
I'm
are
talking,
calling this, yeah,
just let me take like this: x equal to 10, def, or you can take x equal to Telugu only.
okay.
That's what. So region, define region. So x equal to, or you can say x equal to English as a global, and define region x equal to Telugu. Print x. Now, will it display Telugu or will it display English?
This function, it will display Telugu.
Why? X is a global variable, English is there, no? Which has to
But
take a superiority.
we are executing local variable function. Now we are not calling the outside of the
But
function.
X is already have English outside as a global variable, superiority.
But we use
Within
the
the
print
function,
statement within the function, not outside of the function.
okay, I'll mention like this: print X outside of the function. So indentation is there.
Okay. Then
So
print both, I think.
think logically. So
You are making more confused.
no. Actually, these are the key touch points.
Okay.
The same example here: x equal to 10 is a global variable. Define display some function I created, display purpose, x equal to 20. So
Uh,
what 10 is behaving like a global variable, 20 is behaving like a local variable. When
mhm,
you are calling any function, sorry, any variable within the function, that will take a superiority. So print
mhm,
x will say 20.
mhm.
You can say 20 is displayed.
Yeah.
But here there is a class. When you are referring the x outside of a function, then your global variable will take superiority.
Mhm,
Within the function, local variable. Outside of the function, again, if you say print x, it will take a global variable.
mhm.
Clear, right? What I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Similar like your relational language for a understanding purpose, nothing else. So when you are within the Telugu community, we prefer to speak Telugu. When we
Mhm.
are in a global community, we prefer to speak in English.
Yeah.
The same passion. When I'm in within the function, I prefer to take the x value within the function, whatever it is. When outside of the function, I prefer to take global variable.
Mhm.
Clear, right?
Yeah.
You can see the file names with the same name, defining the global and local variables with same name
Okay.
.py. So that is a file name to see this one code.
Uh, okay.
Similarly for every slide.
Mhm.
So modifying the global variable within the function. So can I able to, so I created variable outside of the function like x equal to 20, x equal to 10, but I want to give the influence of global variable within the function only. Can I able to
Mhm.
modify it? So right now what is happening here is x equal to 10 will be act as a 10 value when it's coming outside of the function, and x equal to 20 will act as the x value when it comes to within the function. But my intention is x value has to be changed, which is a global.
Mhm.
So x equal to 10 is fine, I'm okay. But assume that x equal to 20 is nothing but doing some exercise like x equal to x plus 10.
Mhm.
So because of some exercise, program exercise, you got the x value as 20 as an outcome of function.
Mhm.
That one has to be updated to your global. So
Mhm.
can I able to modify my x variable, global variable within the function? Means yes, we can do that. Where is that?
Okay.
Hmm. So global X. First, you have to define the variable you're taking as a global or local. If you're not using the syntax called global, system assume it's a local variable. But right now, what I'm doing here is I am mentioning as a prefix global within the function. So when I give a prefix as global space X, system will, I'm declaring this variable is going to be a global variable. So going forward, for the X, whatever I do within the function is also applicable for global X.
Okay.
Clear, right? What I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
The same thing here. You can say 20, 20.
Mm.
Arguments. So this one I already explained you, but still for recap purpose, we can see there are 4 type of arguments we have. One is a non-default arguments. Second one is the default arguments. Third one is the keyword arguments. Fourth one is non-keyword arguments.
Mhm.
So non-default arguments within the function defines, I'm talking only within the function. Previous one was functions only, but in a brackets. But right now, within the function we are defining. So you can see the same thing, no difference. So arguments defined within the function definition. So you can see, and the argument values is a mandatory to be specified within the function call. So non-default arguments means there should be an argument define display name comma city.
Mm.
So there are two x comma y variable. Name is name is one variable, city is another variable which I'm passing to display function, and that will take the display will take this two information, and it's going to display name is going to be so and so, and city is going to be so and so. And when you say display in bracket two arguments, first argument will go to name, second one argument will go to city. So Amar Mumbai.
Mhm.
So it will be assigned in a sequential manner. Nothing called default arguments. Compulsory need to provide name and city. No other option. You have to provide, or else system will show error. If you forward only one argument like Amar by skipping the city, it will show an error because these are default arguments. Is there any other way I can able to modify it in the sense? For example, Amar, Yamini, Giri, Amar, and other people also. Everyone is located to one location, maybe Mumbai. So why to enter Mumbai multiple times? Let it take it as a default. But
Mhm.
names are different. Those scenario, you can give define show some function name called show like a display in bracket name equal to Amar, city equal to Pune. So here Amar and Pune will take it as a default values. In case if the user forgot to enter some name, system automatically take the default values.
Okay.
Now I'm using a function calling a function show in bracket Venkat comma Mumbai. So when I enter Venkat comma Amar, Venkat comma Mumbai, Venkat and Mumbai will take a superiority, and it will be update Venkat and Mumbai in your outcome. You can see in the second line in
Mhm.
left hand side blue color.
Mm.
For an example, if I miss two values or if I miss any one of the value, then it will go to default arguments like show. If you just mention show without any values, system automatically taken the default values like Amar and Pune, and it displayed the outcome. So this will help us when user has some blank values or some missing values or some values you want to take it as default. All employees are working in TCS. Example. Then why to
Mm.
give TCS as an input for everyone? Take it as a default, no?
Yeah.
Company name. So those scenario it will be helpful. Clear?
Yeah.
So default values I explained you. Combination of default and non-default. Just as I explained you, name, comma, city equal to Mumbai. So name is going to be any name like Venkata, comma Pune. Sorry. Venkata, comma. This is the default, and this
City is the constant.
combination of non-default and default.
Okay.
So non-default have a name. That means if the user forgot to enter some name, some data, system will show an error. And non-default default argument is going to be if the system user forgot to enter also, system has a default argument, so system will pass Mumbai. So in this example, Venkat comma Pune, I entered, so system displayed Venkat Mumbai. And the second examples show Venkata. That means user I passed, username I passed, city I not passed. So but default I have Mumbai. System displayed Venkata Mumbai, Pune and Mumbai. Now here I have a question, just for an example. Can I pass in an alternative way? When you're practicing, just say something like this. City as Hyderabad with quotations, comma, Amar. How the system will treat this one? Which one is name? Which one is city?
Hyderabad is name. Sorry, Hyderabad is city and Amar is the name.
One thing, system doesn't have any intelligence. So first in, first out. So name will go to Hyderabad, city will come to Amar. That is a sequence what we define the function.
Okay.
Name. So in the same fashion it will go. To avoid that, you have another alternative. For example, show equal to. In here you can give the argument like city equal to Hyderabad. Keyword arguments. If you remember, we discussed city equal to Hyderabad, comma name equal to Amar. So now the positions are different. Instead of giving the name as first position and city as second position, I'm just reverse the positions, but I able to identify the name Amar, are able to identify the Hyderabad as a city by using keywords, not based on the positions. Clear, right? What I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Now I have one more question here. I just explained you non-default and default. Non-default is nothing but name without any default and city with default. I just explained. I'm okay with this. Can I do default and non-default in a WhatsApp banner? Something like name is default Amar and city I can give whatever I want. In a sense, system will show an error. The reason is you can have n number of non-default followed by default. But if you start with non-default, sorry, if you start with the default, then system will show an error. And subsequent inputs also we're expecting some default arguments only. That is a condition Python. For an example, if you see here, the green color one, I define name equal to Amar, city, I just make it as blank. So I can enter Mumbai, Pune, or Hyderabad or something XYZ. So when I'm trying to print X, system is showing an error, invalid syntax. It will not allow to execute. We not discussed about error handling so far. How to handle an error, we not discussed. But when you are getting an error, you can get a catch saying that we can have non-default as a primary source and default as a secondary element, not a source, element or an argument. So start with non-default and end with default if you have anything like that combination. But if you want to start with default, ensure that all other arguments also default only. Clear it?
Yeah.
So you might be entered a name as a Venkata and location as a Pune or a only Mumbai or whatever you show. System will show that it is going to be an error and will say that after default arguments we cannot have non-default arguments. So this is one of the things which you need to be remember when you're doing with global and local variables and default or non-default arguments.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, good.
So this one will stop it today as Giri also not joined today. He's traveling. So tomorrow we can continue with another 2 more classes.
Okay.
What day 24 and day 25 we'll try to finish. These are small topics. Do not worry. But thing is, it will take a major impact on your program.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe another 4-5 days we'll finish modular programming. Once I complete modular programming, then we'll enter object-oriented programming. Before that, I will take 1 day break for
Okay.
giving the exercise on my real-time project.
Okay.
Clear it? This 4 days we'll finish up. We started only functions, but these functions can be accommodated in your model, and that models can be accommodated in your libraries. You might be remember when you're doing the self-learning, pandas, numpy, and everything, right?
Yeah.
So when you open that panda and numpy, you can able to do some kind of math calculation.
Mm-hmm.
When you're doing the math calculation, that calculation has some functions.
Mm-hmm.
So the square or cube, what you are doing in the math calculation are the functions, and math is nothing but a module. That math module is available in pandas library.
Okay.
So these 3 links you have to be created. Then modular programming, it comes to one shape.
Okay.
Then we'll enter into your favorite top chapter called Java, object-oriented programming.
Mm-hmm.
Since you're coming from Java background.
No, I don't have a